I say, the sentencing hearing, which in there we go. I think we're on. Hello, everyone on YouTube. Thank you for your patience. I was just explaining to those on Facebook, watching us on Facebook. We were in court today for the sentencing hearing for the debacle and the absolutely disgusting and taxpayers' money wasted completely. Again, I don't know what today's outings cost the state, but for a case where it was confirmed once again, yeah, we're on YouTube, so that's that. So it was confirmed once again today, Aaron Brady was not charged and was not brought to court for intimidating anyone. The whole case was surrounded a tendency to pervert the course of justice. Now, I've just taken a few notes on today's proceedings and we'll run through it. If we refresh our minds back to last Thursday and the devastating news that Aaron's appeal was turned down on all 48 counts. And in the 17-minute or 15-minute summary given by Judge Edwards in relation to the appeal decision, he accepted that it was all right for Molly Staunton to be attacked by a man, physically attacked, shouted at and assaulted, giving her testimony. And we have the evidence. We witnessed this taking place online in the court. He said it was okay for Daniel Cahill to give evidence after he was caught with marijuana, steroids, and the judge was fully aware of his real IRA involvement with the Rayan gang, the machete attack on a number of people in New York, and his drug dealing exploits in Ireland prior to leaving Dublin, where he was stabbed 5 or 6 times. So judges Edwards, Kennedy and Burns were quite happy with that. So that's okay. They were happy with an American agent. Now, but this wasn't mentioned in the summary now. Judge Edwards forgot about this. Agent Matt Catsky, Homeland Security agent. He was seconded in London. He's an attaché with in London in the American Embassy. He was running around offering inducements to a then suspect, man who's since been acquitted, offering inducements to James Flynn in Belfast Airport in relation to a murder in the Republic of Ireland. And Pat Barry told a tissue of lies, Mark Phillips told a heap of lies, that they didn't know that Catsky was doing this. But that's okay, because he said there was no evidence of collusion, corruption or coercion. Oh, he forgot to mention that it was sort of all right that there was emails written from the Irish DPP to the American authorities. If they cooperate, keep them. If they don't cooperate, initiate deportation proceedings. He forgot that evidence proves that there was collusion, corruption and coercion. Oh, and he forgot to mention that a young man from Ireland went to his solicitor in America and solicitor here in Ireland to confirm that the guards had changed his statement, and he was put under severe pressure and duress to make a statement that was altered. Oh, and he forgot about Anthony Maguire, who was caught with £30,000 worth of cocaine here in Ireland, cash and ammunition, and he was allowed to stay in America. And he too wrote a letter via his lawyer to say that the guards had put him under severe duress to make a statement. So we have all those things are allowed. Judge Edwards is happy with all those parts of Aaron's case. That's what he told us. We haven't had the full judgment yet. We didn't get a look at it, but obviously we will dissect it when we do get it. And today we had Aaron in court, and he had a tendency to do something where there was no victim, nobody reported any crime, no one reported any interference from Aaron Brady or any of the Brady family. no coercion, collusion, inducements. And we had a court full of barristers and detectives there today. As I say, I don't, at what cost, I do not know. So if we take what happened last Thursday, what was allowed, and then why we were in court today is a complete and utter mystery at the best of times. But when you weigh the two up, you can intimidate people, do deals with the real IRA, do deals with drug dealers and people with ammunition and cash belonging to subversive organisations, and people with links to the real IRA, Daniel Cahill, Judge Michael White, and indeed Judge Edwards, Kennedy and Burns knew full well that Daniel Cahill was an associate of Dean Evans, who shot and murdered Peter Butterley in a car park in County Meath. So all that is complete and totally fine. But if somebody has a tendency to do something, we're going to have a big court case. But indeed, when Michael Higgins and indeed the prosecution spoke today, it showed clearly that Aaron Brady's tendency was not to cause any distress to anybody. And again, as I said, I haven't had time to write up notes. Just been busy at other paperwork this evening. So this is just some of the notes today. Mr. Collins, Lorcan Stain wasn't there today. Well, he came in late. So Mr. Collins was giving the statement to the court on behalf of the prosecution. And he told us quite clearly that the two most important witnesses were Ronan Flynn and Daniel Cahill. That was his opening gambit. Two criminals, two people on the run, one from the law here in Ireland whom had an extradition warrant totally made disappear, Ronan Flynn, and Daniel Cahill, whom the authorities know was stabbed multiple times and thrown out of Dublin. So that was the two main witnesses in a capital murder case. That was, and it had. This is where Michael O'Higgins came in then, and the judge, Brian Quirk, the lead detective, the SIO in this case, who was in the witness box at the time, confirmed to the judge and to the Irish public. Michael O'Higgins said, "My client was never charged with intimidation." The judge agreed. Detective Brian Quirk agreed, and obviously the prosecution had no issue and couldn't contradict that. Aaron Brady, or no one in the Brady family, or anyone connected to the campaign, no one, nobody, no person has ever been charged with intimidation in relation to Aaron's investigation. The investigation that involved Aaron into the murder and robbery at Lordship Credit Union. So that was cleared up once and for all today. There was no intimidation. There was some information about Daniel Cahill being caught with green. So obviously we know that Daniel Cahill was caught with drugs, and this was the background into Aaron's trial. Another very, very important part was that the video was released at 12:08 p.m. 12:08 p.m. on the 7th of May. And Brian Quirk agreed that Aaron Brady was physically impossible. Aaron was in court at that moment in time. We were in court at that moment in time. And we could not, did not, and had nothing to do with the putting up of that video on WhatsApp. It's as simple as that. The evidence is there in black and white, and it's in the transcripts of the court today. We have covered it before in previous videos. No one belonging to the campaign, the Brady family, or Aaron could have released the video. We say it's Pádraig Reilly, a Garda who was connected in Castleblaney, who released the video for the simple reason Garda Síochána were aware that Ronan Flynn was in consultation with Aaron's solicitors. and was coming forward to tell the truth. And indeed, in the video clips that were released, we have highlighted quite clearly, if you go and look at the videos we've created on it, Mark Phillips coerced the witness. In the little clips that were released on WhatsApp, you can see quite clearly Senior Investigating Officer Mark Phillips, along with Paul Gill and Dummy Riley in the room, clearly coerced and led Ronan Flynn. Clearly. The prosecution, Brian Quirk, the Senior Investigating Officer in this case that took place today, are fully aware from the campaign videos of all the voice recordings, emails and text messages we have had with Ronan Flynn that confirms that Ronan Flynn was arrested, told he would never see his wife and child again if he didn't tell lies against Aaron Brady. And we've covered that extensively, and Quirk and all these boys rolled up today and they continue to peddle this story. It's not known that the video changed Ronan's mind. Now again, Brian Quirk, Senior Investigating Officer today, confirmed that. And he was questioned on it a number of times, and he confirmed that this release, the dissemination and the release of these videos of Ronan Flynn giving a statement to Mark Phillips and Gill had nothing to do with him changing his mind. And again, we have given an abundance of evidence from the mouth of Ronan Flynn himself that the video had nothing got to do with him not coming forward. Ronan has told us he had went to a solicitor or his lawyers in New York, and he told them he wanted nothing more to do with the case. He was put under severe pressure and threatened by Mark Phillips and Paul Gill, two detectives. Again, it was gone over that Aaron Brady could not have physically placed the videos online, and it would be impossible for Aaron to have someone else got the video then as it was being passed around the social media sites, and someone put tout, pig and something else on the videos. And that was agreed today in court. There is no doubt Aaron Brady had nothing got to do with that. Pig and tout. Aaron Brady was not the author of the words. That's exactly what was said in court today. Aaron Brady was not the author of the words, and that was confirmed on both sides of the floor today. Simple as that. Again, in relation to Daniel Cahill and Dean Byrne's side of the case, again, it was agreed that the text messages, which we have gone into in great detail, that Aaron Brady did not want the pictures of Daniel Cahill's statement released anywhere or even shown to Daniel Cahill. And I think it's very important here. It's only the front page and the back page. Now, whether it's right or wrong, we'll come to now in a minute. But it wasn't Daniel Cahill's complete statement that was released. Dean Byrne sent it to relatives of Daniel Cahill to prove, because Daniel Cahill's relatives believed that Daniel wasn't going to give evidence, didn't know anything about it. So this great deed that Daniel Cahill was going to do, the deed has been heralded by the DPP on Garda Síochána, a number of judges, and indeed his bro romance with Robin Schiller, a mainstream journalist, that this was a great deed this man was doing, and he didn't tell his family. Nobody knew anything about it. So again, everything doesn't stack up for the prosecution. Everything points towards lies, setup, coercion, collusion, and hiding the vital information, as Cahill did from his family. And it's there to be seen, plain and simple. There is absolutely, here we have it again, Brian Quirk, the senior investigating officer, confirmed there is no evidence that Daniel Cahill was intimidated. And this is what we have said from the beginning in relation to this absolutely pathetic case that I don't know how much it's cost. I do hope that some of you as members of the public do inquire of the state what this whole case has cost. It's an absolute sham and an absolute disgrace. And it was confirmed once again. Daniel Cahill was not intimidated. There is no victim. Nobody, no one, no person, no group of people, nobody made a complaint. And yet the guards ran with this to make clickbait stories for the mainstream gutter media. And it's as simple as that. Because what happened in this court case makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Again, when Michael was speaking, Michael O'Higgins, again, he said it's not known if Mr. Flynn was influenced. We do know Mr. Flynn wasn't influenced. He was never going to give evidence, and it has never been explained why he didn't give evidence. Now, we know this video was disseminated and sent out. That's, fine, that happened. But Ronan Flynn was going to have to come to court anyway. I think this is something we must get a grasp of here. Obviously, the video was released, but Ronan, if he was telling the truth and if his story had any credence or there was any truth to it, Ronan Flynn would have still given evidence. I think that's something we must try and get a grasp of. What difference did it make? It wasn't nice, it wasn't pleasant for Ronan. And Ronan has put himself in a serious predicament where, and we have always said, if anyone was telling the truth, we would have no issue with it whatsoever. If Ronan Flynn was coming forward and telling the truth, no problem. If Daniel Cahill was coming forward and telling the truth, we would have to deal with it. If Christopher Morton, the lawyer, and his cousin Anthony Maguire could be relied upon in any way, shape or form, two drug dealing thieves, we would have to accept what they're saying as the truth. But we know there was coercion and collusion and pressure put on these people to tell lies. So we know that Ronan Flynn was not influenced by the video. He wasn't giving evidence anyway. The persons who didn't. And Michael O'Higgins, very, very vital point, and we have always said, excuse me, I have an itchy nose. Michael, and we've always said it in Aaron's campaign, continually in relation to this intimidation nonsense. It was completely and totally detrimental. It was an awful stick to cut to beat Aaron's defence team with, was the release of the video of Ronan Flynn giving a statement. And it was said today in court by Michael O'Higgins, the persons who did do it were not acting in the interest of Aaron Brady. And we have said that from day one. That was not challenged, and it most certainly was not jumped upon by the prosecution, either Collins or Stain. It was detrimental to Aaron that the video was released onto the mainstream social media channels. And this whole we wouldn't have been able to do it. They have bare knuckle boxing, some BKB, they have the sites. excuse me. The state know where it originated and give some bullshit story that they can't trace it. Now, I've spoken to a number of I've spoken to, two people involved in cyber security, and they find it very, very hard to believe that the Irish State Police, cannot find where that was released. They get it very difficult to comprehend how that happened, because the bastards are hiding where it came from. They know where it came from. The IP address could be the Garda barracks in Castleblaney, or the Garda barracks in Dundalk, wherever O'Reilly was sitting having his coffee. Because they had to stop Ronan Flynn cooperating with Aaron's defence team. And that's how they done it. Again, Michael told us there is no evidence of any negative influence. And Brian Quirk had to agree with that. There was no change or deviation in anyone giving or not giving evidence. Cahill came and told a tissue of lies. So there's no issue with any alteration or any suggestion that anyone's mind was changed, so to speak. So the whole thing is a farce. There is no crime. There is no crime. There is no victim. So please, people, send in a request to find out how much this trial cost, because I think it's something that should be put in the public domain. And of course, Aaron and ourselves, we still stand over what we're saying. Daniel Cahill told a tissue of lies. Ronan told a tissue of lies. Ronan has explained to us, and we have shared that with you, the public, through Ronan's text messages and voice recordings. Ronan was put under a severe duress. We cannot condone what Ronan done, but we've always understood it. He was told, you will never see your wife and child again. You're going home to face the consequences legally. Going home to face the consequences legally of your serious assault on this man in the Carlingford, in the Cooley Peninsula. And also, I suppose it's fairly safe to say, I can say without fear of contradiction, the man that Ronan Flynn and his father attacked, let's say, would have connections. And I think they may very well have, either himself or his connections, may have issued a mild warning to Ronan, let's say. So Ronan had a number of reasons for not wanting to be deported from New York. Excuse me. And of course, Daniel Cahill, I've mentioned before, drugs, steroids, drug dealing, machete attack, stabbed in Dublin, very close connections to the 32 County Sovereignty Committee, Real IRA, the Rayin Gang, whatever you want to call them. Is it possible Daniel Cahill was working with the Rayin Gang purveying narcotics? And is it possible that Daniel Cahill was doing a little side work with another gang and got caught? And someone ran round the corner and stuck a knife in him 5 or 6 times. Daniel Cahill most certainly did not want to come home. So, as Michael said today, Aaron still maintains he did not make those statements to Cahill and Flynn. And we have shown that, and it has never, ever been contradicted by the mainstream media, the DPP, on Garda Síochána. They've never come to question the campaign and said you can't say those things against these wonderful men who came forward to make wonderful statements to entrap a Garda killer. They're just letting them lay there and hoping it goes away. It's not going away. The Justice for Aaron Brady campaign is not going away. Michael apologised for Aaron, and he said that Aaron accepts that what he done was incorrect. I will go a little bit further insofar as saying against Michael Higgins here, Aaron was dead right because Aaron was seeking the truth. When Aaron was looking for Daniel Cahill's father to come and speak to me, I wanted to go and sit with Stephen Cahill and sit down with him and say, Stephen, this is what happened. Your son attacked Aaron in his apartment. Therefore, an attempt and threatened to cut Aaron's toes off. Aidan Kieran, Davy Cushion, Anthony Maguire, and Daniel Cahill attacked Aaron on 28 First Street. And the fact that that happened renders Cahill's statement completely null and void. Because would you be sitting having cosy chats with someone who beat you to a pulp and threatened to cut off your toes? But we do know that Daniel Cahill denied it under oath. So he purged himself again. This is the same Daniel Cahill who went on the podcast, told us about the stabbings. And I've just seen in a statement today, in his testimony, I had told Justin McQuaid that people from Coolock had mentioned that Cahill was stabbed and thrown out of Dublin. Obviously, we had no evidence. And I only noticed today Justin McQuaid actually mentions it to Cahill, and Cahill denied it, that it happened in Dublin. But he did then tell us more information that he was attacked on Katona Avenue. So this law-abiding citizen is getting involved in attacking people with machetes and then getting attacked on the street. And he's hiding in the attic because people want to kill him. And we're dealing with a fucking court case with a tendency to do something. And we have proven the tendency, there was no tendency to even apply any form of pressure. None. And that was accepted by Detective Brian Quirk today. And that was accepted by the prosecution because there was no evidence of any kind. In fact, the evidence was to the contrary, which we've gone through in detail in previous videos. And then, just as we have gone through some of what happened today, Michael said this all happened, Michael Higgins said this all happened in the background of a very fraught trial. Aaron's rights were totally violated every day. There is vast swathes of evidence which has been hidden. There's vast swathes of evidence that has been tampered with. There is a vast amount of evidence of communications between America and Dublin that was denied to our son Aaron. 4 months we fought for information, and that was denied behind the veil of a thing called a letters of scope, where someone in an office in Homeland Security, probably Matt Katsky, drafted an email and said, we're not allowed to release any of this information because it belongs to America. And the whole case here in Ireland. And Judge Michael White upheld that. But hopefully we can fight against that. It was at a time of a very fraught background when Judge Michael White knew people were being intimidated left, right, and centre. He knew about the young man from Cork. He knew about Anthony Maguire. He had seen Ronan Flynn's video where he was being coerced and schooled in his interview. And he heard Molly Staunton being attacked while giving her testimony. So the upshot of today's sentencing hearing is judges will return on the 29th of July this month to give their sentencing. I suppose to all intents and purposes, to someone who's serving a 40-year sentence, it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. As I've said numerous times, it's comical if it wasn't so serious. But Aaron will not serve many more of those 40 years because we are getting close to showing that Aaron Brady, and we have shown, and hopefully the support that's growing now after the debacle of the appeal decision will generate the extra impetus we need both in the UK and in the USA, and indeed here on the island of Ireland. So that's a brief rundown of what happened today. Is the what day is the 14th? It is 16th. So 16th of July 2024. That's what happened in the courtroom today. No victims, no crime, massive amounts of the taxpayers' money spent for no discernible reason whatsoever. None. So that's where we are at the minute. I just see some messages there. No messages. I don't think it's. Oh, Andrew Clark, where are we going? Yes. In respect of the decision of the appeal, we will be going to the Supreme Court. The paperwork will be sent forward. I believe 3 judges look at the paperwork and then elevate it to the Supreme Court, where 7 judges will look at the absolutely disgusting behaviour of White, Edwards, Kennedy, and Burns. So we're given a time scale of something happening in October and a possible date in January or February. Don't hold your breath, so to speak, but we'll see what happens. Once again, you can see the issues we have continually with our social media platforms. Many people have said to us the difficulty they have getting the videos and things dropping off. They want to go back and look at other videos and then they're gone. Please like, comment and share. We do need people to hit those buttons because it helps with the algorithms and it fights against the shadow banning. Please continue to like, comment and share and help get Aaron's story out there. That's it for the moment. I think that's all the notes. And I'll just finish off again by saying we've just gone through a court case where there is no crime and there are no victims. There is a tendency to do something. So that is the state of our state. Thank you so much for watching. Please share the video and please raise the awareness of Aaron's case. Thank you very much, and we'll see you all again in the next video. Thank you. I'll just go.